All right, Sportsmanlike Conduct. We're back with more of our bowl previews. We're going to get to the Orange Bowl and the Sugar Bowl right now. Already covered the national championship game and the Rose Bowl. Probably these are two other good matchups. The BCS,
these are hard matchups.
They did produce pretty good matchups.
Yeah.
Except for one. We'll get to that one later. But Virginia Tech against Stanford in the Orange Bowl. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. Two teams. Man, Stanford had one bad half all season against Oregon, and it cost them.
Yeah.
And Virginia Tech had 2 bad weeks.
Yep.
They really started their season 3 weeks late, and that cost them. But playing as far as two teams that are ending the season on a high note, I don't think you're going to find two better teams than these two.
Virginia Tech winning 11 in a row, and Stanford just rolling past everybody else after Oregon.
So what do you got? What do you got? Tyrod Taylor. You start with the quarterbacks.
Yeah, Tyrod and Andrew Luck for Stanford. I'm going with Stanford. When we talked about early in the season, Stanford, they're just so well balanced on both sides of the ball. I think that's going to go a long way with stopping Virginia Tech's run game. I think they're going to be able to hold Tyrod Taylor and their run game in check. Virginia Tech's got a great defense, but I think Stanford and just Andrew Luck being he's just a great quarterback.
He's going to be the number one pick in the NFL draft.
He's just a great quarterback. I think he's going to be the reason they win the game. He's the difference in the game. Because Tyrod Taylor can win the game with his legs. I think Stanford can hold him in check, and I think Andrew Luck's going to be the key in that game, and he's going to be the reason they win the game.
I think this is going to be another high scoring game, to tell you the truth. I think Virginia Tech's got a good defense, but I think Stanford's going to be able to put up some points.
Oregon had a good defense too, and Stanford put up points against them. So
Stanford's defense isn't that good,
but they're good.
Right, they're good. Right, and you have to have at least a good defense to make the national championship game. You don't have to have a great defense.
Stanford can definitely score some points.
Yeah. I think the X factor is not going to be Andrew Luck. I think it's going to be Tyrod Taylor to me. Like he's shown me a lot this season on eye test. Like his ability, not just as a running quarterback, he does a really good job of just keeping plays alive and then making the right throw down the field to me. I love the way that Tyrod has played this year. So I'm looking for big things from Virginia Tech in this game. But the thing, I'm equally impressed with Stanford, though. Like you said, Jim Harbaugh has that team. He runs that team like an NFL team, I think. Do the details. Get everything right, have that kind of sense of composure, like the composure that they have.
They just never beat themselves.
They carry themselves in a professional way. I just get that out of Stanford, that they're not going to go out there and beat themselves. They're not going to make one mistake and dwell on it and let it turn into multiple mistakes. They get past the one mistake and then it's on to the next play. All right, take care of business. They're very just business-like to me, which is always good, especially in a bowl situation where a lot of times kids get overhyped and, it's either overhyped or underhyped. That's the other thing about the bowls.
Yeah.
You never know which team's going to care, because really at the end of the day,
it's not the
what are they really playing for?
Yeah, it's not the national championship game.
It's nice. Yes, we won the Orange Bowl, we won a BCS game. That's cool. That's cool.
Absolutely. No.
But, no one, 50 years from now, no one's going to remember that.
Yeah.
You only remember one team a year.
The national championship game.
So, but you want to go out on a winning note. You want to end your season on a winning note. And, it's hard. Especially the New Year's Day ones. For any team, any of the late bowl games that are played after first semester grades come out.
Yeah.
You don't know who's eligible anymore. It's hard to decide that. But usually Stanford doesn't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But you never know with the bowl games. But I like Virginia Tech. I'm rolling with the Hokies. They won me a free lunch by getting Florida State in the ACC championship game. So Virginia Tech's going to win it, and that's just going to prove the greatness of UNH. Is what it's going to prove, because we beat James Madison and James Madison beat them.
So ipso facto.
That's logic. I could use that logic as a BCS voter and put UNH at number 1, and you couldn't say anything to me, because that's how awesome college football is.
All right, so the Sugar Bowl. We have Ohio State and Arkansas.
Yes. Another great matchup of quarterbacks. You're talking about two I'll make a bold prediction at the end of this one. So sit tight for this one.
Is it about Ryan
Mallett? It is not about Ryan Mallett.
Really? Because I've been talking about Ryan Mallett all year, and he's been my favorite quarterback the entire year.
He's been amazing.
Yeah, it's been ridiculous.
Him and Cam Newton, one hell of a shootout. Where they put one show they put on. And this has a chance to be a very similar type of game like that. Yeah. But it's a little different dealing with Ohio State's defense rather than Auburn.
That's the key for me. And Arkansas has been their offense has been great behind Ryan Mallett, but their defense they got ahead against Auburn, they let up all these points, and then they crushed South Carolina. I don't know where to put them. They're not consistent enough for me.
They did go 10-2. They're pretty good,
but they're not consistent enough. When you see they're giving up points to some of these teams that they're beating. I mean, they're still giving up 35. I think they gave up like 30 something Ole Miss, stuff like that.
It's a Bobby Petrino team,
right?
It's like those old teams.
How far that can go against an Ohio State defense. I just don't know how far that can go. And Terrell Pryor is a hell of an athlete and a hell of a quarterback, and he's going to be able to put up some numbers against Arkansas. And I think the difference is going to be Ohio State's defense, because these quarterbacks are going to come do their thing, and that's going. I mean, they're going to get their touchdowns. They're going to make their plays, and there's nothing that any defense on both sides of the ball can do about it. But Ohio State's defense is good enough to win them the game, at least keep them in the game, and then Terrell Pryor can win it. I got Ohio State.
Let me make 2 points. First, real quick about the SEC. You know how everyone always says, "Oh, the SEC talent's on another level. This and that." You don't want to go up against those SEC defense and this and that. There are only 2 good defenses in the entire SEC this year.
Yeah,
LSU and Alabama. No one else in the SEC plays defense. They don't. Every SEC game I watch is high scoring. Yeah. I only see 2 teams in that entire league playing defense. So I don't want to hear anything about that's SEC defense right now. This is my other point. This is the bomb I'm going to drop right here. This game, Terrell Pryor is going to take Ohio State to a big win in this game, come back next year, go undefeated to the national championship. That is the bomb I'm dropping right there.
It is on video recording.
It's on.
The 12th of December.
This is my bold prediction right now, is that Terrell Pryor leads them to victory. He's already talked about the fact that he's hinted at the fact that he may come back.
I think you should say.
But Terrell Pryor, he's going to have a big day against Arkansas in that Sugar Bowl. Come back to Columbus next year, and they're going to be preseason number 1 and hold that ranking for the whole season next year. They're going to be seeing.
They got to see the tough teams in the Big Ten next year.
Yeah, Big Ten's been a good. Big Ten's on the upswing this year. This is kind of a balance of power bowl season.
Absolutely.
I think, for Big Ten versus SEC.
Absolutely.
I've been pretty impressed with the Big Ten this year. I see a number.
Last year I was down in Big Ten last year. Mm-hmm. The Big Ten did not impress me all last year, but this year
you got 3 BCS quality teams. If you had a playoff, the Big Ten would be looking at 3 teams in the playoff of Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Ohio State. And Iowa's a pretty darn good team for their record. Yeah. I think they can play. I mean, they didn't have I think they only went like 4 losses, 5 losses, but they still got on eye test. Iowa a good team.
I don't have the record.
I think they lost a few more games than expected. But the Big Ten, I think, is coming up a little bit right now.
No, there's no doubt about that.
That's my bold prediction that Pryor does that. And Pryor, Ohio State, they're another team that's like Stanford. Tressel's got that team run like an NFL team, you know.
And I think he's starting to get, and I think a lot of it has to do with Pryor maturing, but last year I didn't like the way that Tressel used Pryor. He was kind of like limiting to what he was doing. Now Pryor's growing into that system, and he's growing into a quarterback. So I was saying all this stuff about Tressel, but obviously Tressel's a quarterback or a coach, and I'm not, and that's why, because he's making Pryor a person that can make those throws and then use his legs to when he's got to. And he's so big and so fast.
He's like a big Troy Smith.
Yeah,
is what he's like.
You can't bring him down. Those defensive ends come at him, and he can just move around you. He can go through you. He can do whatever he wants to.
Runs out of the pocket, runs 4 steps down the field, and it's like 10-yard run, first down.
Yeah,
and just runs out of bounds. And it's like
he hasn't even
broken a sweat.
Yeah.
You know,
and then he's got a cannon. He's just got an absolute cannon, and he's a really, really good quarterback. So we both have Ohio State and Sugar Bowl, and we're split on
Virginia Tech and Stanford. I got Virginia Tech. He's got Stanford. I got Ohio State winning the national championship next year. Early returns on that.
I think it might be that might be the first prediction ever.
Oh,
for next year.
All right, come back with the final 2 BCS games after this.